booted. What I'm going to do is just simulate that by restarting my box here, which it says at the moment it's powered off like a real machine. So click on start. What we should now get is the window starting up and saying how to get out of the captured window, and we should now see that it's starting our virtual machine and it will boot up like a normal Linux box does. Now, it's slightly different under the different operating systems how this works and the different host machines that are running it. We'll just wait for it to boot. It's being a little bit slow, but we should eventually see it going through the boot cycle here. Here we go. So we should get all of the boot messages as we do for a normal machine, and it should come up with the, there you go, the Ubuntu logo there. Just going to resize it. I should be able to now log in as I would a normal machine. Standard Ubuntu log message and everything else. Now, if you took notice of the start thing for getting out of this, you can see what we've got here is the capture of the virtual machine, and then we can move out of it. We've got the ability now for all the different devices, network adapted, share folders and things like this. We can switch to different modes, so seamless host mode, full screen mode, Windows size mode. So in theory, if I go view, switch to scale mode, it says scale, you can go back to pressing that, remember these things, or you can just read the manual and the user guide that comes with Ubuntu. So now you can see as I resize, I get the correct size there. Now I should be able to go applications, accessories, open up a terminal, and I can type ls pwd, usual Unix commands that we've been looking at the lab this week, and we can see what has actually been installed. So for example, by default Python has been installed, GCC has been installed, G++, the C++ compiler, hasn't been installed. So for basic getting started in the first few weeks of term, what we need has been installed. To get other packages, there are two ways of doing it via the package updater. So for example, if I want to install G++ and other things, you see here it's saying there are updates to be installed, and I'm just going to close that for now. What we have to do is become administrator and choose the packages we want to install. So sudo su, we'll ask for a password, put in your login password. By default, as you're the only user, you are an administrator on this machine, which is, as you can see here, becoming root. And what I'm going to do is to go apt get update. What that will do is update all of the different packages and everything that are available from the Ubuntu repositories. So it's just basically gone online. You can see it's actually using host networking from this machine. It's just found the network. It's going online via the wireless on my Mac basically, which is really cool. And what I'm going to do is go apt get install, and I want G++. It's going to look into the repositories and says, I've found G++ and various other things. Do you want to continue and install? Yes, I do. And it's going to download and install all of the tools we need for G++. See here it's saying it's going to take 1 hour, oh no, 1 minute, which is a lot better. I didn't want it to be that long. So while that's downloading, I'm going to just open another virtual terminal here, and I can do a hello world, hash include std.io.h. Std.io. What's going on? That's not actually proper by, is it? Let's do it in Vim. Hello. Let's see. No, Vim's not installed. I need to install Vim as well. So there's lots of packages on this basic install that have not been installed. Let's see if gedit. Yes, gedit's been installed. So let's use the gedit editor, which is a lot nicer anyway. And hash include std.io.h, hash include stdlib.h, int main, printf, hello world. I really hate the fact that this editor by default has tabs set at 8, which is a ridiculous amount for any programming language. We'll set that back to 2 just to make it look better, and return exit success. We're going to save that, and we're going to give it a go. gcc hello.c a.out /a.out, and there we go, hello world in C, and we've got C++ installed now, so in theory we should be able to gedit hello.cpp and do exactly the same thing for C++, so hash include iostream, hash include cstdlib, int main, like that, std cout hello world /n, return exit success, save that, and then we will g++ hello.cpp a.out, and there you go. So you now have a Linux box which is capable of running all of the basic console style programming that we need. One note with if you're running Windows machines and or a Linux box that you want to run other things on, if you read in the manual, I think it's chapter 4, there is a section on installing the guest editions. Here we go. Now these aren't available under Mac OS X, they don't need them. But this will install all sorts of things to do with file sharing, drag and drop, and also OpenGL drivers and things like that. So I thoroughly recommend reading this section and installing those before you proceed. That's the end of how to install everything.